The world is once again in awe. Social media is abuzz with only one topic being discussed. Melody Sherry is celebrating her birthday, and Martell Holt is on another rampage. Seeing his fresh attitude, the venom of his words, and the intensity of his tone on Instagram, people say, this man doesn't learn from his failures. It's time he promises that that's it. Now he'll be a better person. Now he'll come across as a responsible father and a balanced figure. But a few days later, he's right back where he left off, amid noise, blame, and self-deception. Melody has now reached a point where calm has become her signature. The woman who weathered the storms has become a metaphor for light today. There is contentment in his face, confidence in his words, and a quiet dignity in his demeanor that suggests an inner triumph. While Melody turned her sorrows into courage, Martell turned her wounds into hatred. His Instagram posts are now a spectacle, as if he's putting his life on public courts and watching his self-inflicted destruction as spectators. People have now recognized Martell's tactics. Every time he mentions Melody's name, makes a gesture, or teases an old relationship. Everyone realizes it's just a game for attention. One fan famously said that Martell wants to keep his fame tied to Melody because whenever he mentions her, people listen. And it is true. As soon as he says Melody, the views go up, the comments come in, and he gets instant attention. But this charm is temporary. It comes at a heavy price, the loss of respect. Sometimes he used to make fun of Melody's business. He used to say that an online store is not a real business. But today, the same store is a huge success, earning Melody millions. And not only that, Martell is now doing things himself that he once laughed at. Now he is selling merchandise himself. Same style, same way. People say the dreams of the woman you laughed at. Today, you yourself are living in the shadow of those dreams. Meanwhile, a new storm arose, a lawsuit involving Carlos King, the same Carlos who is the producer of Love and Marriage Huntsville, and who brought them all to the world of fame. Now there are talks that he is caught in some legal entanglement. Some say there were irregularities in the production's internal affairs. Others say he made unfair concessions to a few cast members. Social media is hotly debated that Carlos' overly close attitude may now backfire. This time is very critical for all of them. On the one hand, Martell is ruining his reputation with his uncontrollable actions. On the other hand, Melody is carrying on with her peace, honor, and dignity. And on the third hand, the doors of court are about to open on Carlos King. One story, 3 characters, 3 different endings, one created light from sorrow, one darkened by pride, and one beginning to sink under the weight of his own decisions. Martell's latest move has taken everyone by surprise. This time he came live with Ralph Pittman of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Ralph, who is Drew Sidora's ex-husband, has been mired in controversy himself. This live was a complete disaster. Martell crossed all limits. He started saying things that were not only immoral, but also shameful. Ralph repeatedly tried to stop him, signaling stop. Don't say too much, but Martell was under no one's control, as if he is not afraid of any reality. People began to comment that Martell was ruining his own life. Some said that if he had channeled his energies in a positive direction, like opening a fitness studio or building a training brand, success would be kissing his feet today. He has that ability, that physical strength and influence that can open the door to success. But he is just wasting his energy on fights, live videos, and hate speech. He has become the villain of his own story. While Melody turned her injuries into courage and purpose in her life, Martell put her ego first at every opportunity, and this difference explains the end of both. Today, Melody's smile is a testament to her success. She is glowing on her birthday. Her fans are sending her happy messages. And Martell, on the other hand, is losing himself in the social media storm. The storm brewing between Carlos King and Martell Holt goes deeper than just a typical TV drama or showbiz feud. This is a case that has shaken the entire framework of Love, Marriage, Huntsville. In the beginning, people thought that maybe all this was being done to increase the ratings. But over time, the situation proved that this is not just a show, but a battle for respect, truth, and power. Carlos King, known for his professional demeanor and tough decisions, Holt always maintained that he is not afraid to speak the truth. But his conflict with Martell Holt proved that sometimes telling the truth becomes a battle in itself. Martell, already in the media spotlight, this time came under fire not as a character, but as a real person. According to Martell, Carlos King waged a systematic campaign against him, a campaign that could have damaged not only his personality, but also his career. Carlos, on the other hand, was of the view that he was just telling the truth. And if anyone found that truth offensive, that was their problem. The intensity with which the issue caught fire on social media was itself a proof that the public had an extraordinary interest in the story. The conflict became a battle of power and prestige. Statements, videos, and signs began to emerge from both sides. Fans had their say, some supporting Carlos while others sided with Martell. But what emerged most importantly was that behind the scenes of Love Marriage, Huntsville, there was a real war going on. A war in which real people, not characters, were getting hurt. When Carlos King's statement came out, all eyes were on Martell Holt. Everyone was waiting to see when Martell would speak, when he would come clean, when he would reveal the truth. But surprisingly, Martell took the path that no one expected: silence. This silence was no ordinary silence. It was a calm that seemed like the calm before the storm. His fans on social media were restless, with some saying Martell might have given up, others saying he was planning his next move. But those who knew Martell closely understood that the man was not one to back down so easily. Carlos King, on the other hand, issued a cryptic message neither directly naming Martell or openly accusing anyone. But the message's cues were so clear that everyone knew he was talking about Martell. In Carlos' own words, some people can't face the truth because they know the truth will dim their shine. This sentence spread like wildfire on social media. On one side were those who spoke in favor of Carlos, calling him a truth speaker and a fearless producer. On the other hand, there were fans who rose to Martell's defense. They said Carlos had always fueled controversy to boost his ratings, and now he was playing with a man's life. Although Martell didn't say anything outright, his short posts on his social media accounts, some cryptic emojis, and silent unfollows said it all. This silent protest was far more effective than a long video or interview could have been. People sensed a statement in Martell's silence, a statement that contained pain, anxiety, and self-doubt. Meanwhile, YouTube bloggers, gossip pages, and fan accounts started their own reviews. Some pulled out old clips, some shared backstage stories, and some even said that this whole feud was pre-planned to make the show more popular. But what the truth is, it's still shrouded in mystery, and perhaps that's why people can't take their eyes off the story. Time passed, but the matter did not cool down on social media. The more silence there was, the more questions arose. And then, in a most unexpected moment, Martell Holt reappeared. But this was not the Martell that people had known before. This was a new, determined, and somewhat angry Martell, the man who now came to tell his own story. Martell kicked off his comeback with a simple, yet powerful video. He was sitting in a simple room, not with a spectacular background or a large team. There were signs of weariness on the face, but there was a sparkle in the eyes that only belongs to those who believe in their own truth. He said, "I know everything has been shown from one side. But remember, there are two sides to every story. And now it's time for my side to be heard." These words were no less than an explosion. Fans reacted immediately. Comments, shares, videos, reviews. On one side were those who had been opposed to Martell for years, but now for the first time felt that he might have been wronged. Carlos King's supporters, on the other hand, say it's all damage control, meaning he's just trying to save his reputation. The media was divided into two parts. Two clear camps have emerged on YouTube and Instagram. On one side were the people who were making videos under the name Team Martell, and on the other side were the supporters of Support Carlos King, who were praising his production vision. The disagreement grew to such an extent that even neutral bloggers had to lean towards one or the other. When Martell Holt broke the silence with his statement, social media was once again on fire. But this time, it's not just Martell and Carlos. Melody Cherie's name is on the scene once again. People started questioning, what is Melody's role in all this conflict? Does she want to stay away from it all, or does she also have some unsaid things? Melody didn't react at first. No video, no live, no long post. But his silence became a statement. Her admirers called her a symbol of dignity, a woman who does not get involved in controversy, but prefers her work and peace. But some critics also said that Melody's silence was actually a smart move, because she knew that the more Martell spoke, the more people would decide who was telling the truth. Melody wrote a simple sentence on her Instagram: "Truth needs no time. It comes out by itself." That one sentence was enough to stir up the fan base. People immediately linked it to the feud between Carlos and Martell. Some said it was a reference to Martell, others said it was a reference to Carlos' attitude. But one thing everyone admitted, that Melody still didn't give up dignity. On the other hand, the climate of public sympathy began to change rapidly. At first, people were supportive of Carlos, but as Martell's statements and evidence came out, people began to weigh in on him. Some said that the media always portrayed Martell as a villain, but the other side of his story was never shown. This was the moment when the number of Team Martell supporters began to grow. People wrote prayers for him, some saying in public posts that Martell has changed. He's a new person now. The situation became critical for the producers of the show. On the one hand, ratings were on the rise as the controversy drew everyone in. But on the other, the show's reputation was in jeopardy. People questioned whether love marriage is really about love and marriage anymore. Or has it just become a playground of intrigues, scandals, and emotions? Martell's decisions whether to speak out to the media or remain silent both shook the future of the show. Carlos King now had to make new decisions. Some insiders said that differences have arisen in the production team. Some were in favor of Martell's return, while others thought his chapter should be closed. But one thing was clear: love, marriage. Huntsville is no longer the show it once was. The controversy not only changed these characters, but also challenged the entire structure of reality TV. People are no longer mere spectators, but become decision makers. He began to search for the truth behind every scene, every word, every movement. Share your opinion. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and keep notification on for next update.